What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Sharknado. So I have seen this movie before. I've actually only seen it one time before, and I saw it like right when it came out. So when this came out, I was in high school, and I really didn't know anything about it, but I was just at my buddy's house one day, and you know, I don't know. We were just chilling. He's like, dude, let's watch a movie. Let's watch Sharknado. I was like, what the heck is that? He's like, oh, dude, it's this sci-fi channel original movie with a with a bunch of CGI sharks and a tornado. It's like one of those like so bad it's good movies. Let's watch it. It'll be funny. So we watched it, and we were just, we weren't like super invested. We weren't paying that much attention. We were just kind of watching it, laughing, talking amongst each other. And yeah, I remember like initially when I saw it that time, it was fun because I was just like at my buddy's house. It was something fun to throw on and have a good time with. But yeah, upon rewatching it, okay, there was a lot of fun elements. Like, okay, the concept is absolutely over the top and awesome. You got, you know, you got a tornado full of CGI sharks. You got CGI sharks flying out of the sky. People chainsawing sharks. Sharks flying out of the sky, biting people's arms off. Like, there's a lot of fun to be had with this movie. There's a lot of cool imagery. There's a lot of action-packed moments, but overall, like the overall movie, just like, to be honest, it was hard to watch. It was hard to like sit through, even though there were some cool moments here and there. Like, the overall movie dragged a lot for me and just really didn't keep my attention. So to be honest, overall, I was not a fan of this, even though there was some cool stuff going on. But anyways, in terms of a plot summary, you have there's this guy, Finn, and he owns this bar, and this hurricane comes in and floods the town with, salt water that's completely filled with sharks. So, everyone's getting eaten up by these sharks in the flood, and Finn's bar is destroyed. So him and some other individuals, they just, they gotta get up and leave. Like, everything is destroyed. The town is in shambles. So they get up and leave. They go to Finn's ex-wife's house, and Finn's ex-wife is played by Tara Reid. So they go to Finn's ex-wife's house to, check in on her and check on Finn's daughter. And then after that, they all go to try to check in on Finn's son. And then the cast of characters have this plan that they are going to go up in helicopters and throw bombs in the tornadoes to kill the sharks. So that is the basic plot summary. So basically, the first point that I want to get into is, I feel like this movie is very, like, it's like in terms of like sci-fi original movies, it's one of the most well-known. Like, it's like culturally significant. I feel like if you were to mention other Sci-Fi Channel original movies, nobody would know what the heck you're talking about. But if you mention this, like, just the title is kind of like a buzzword, like Sharknado. Like, people, like, the title holds some weight. Like, I feel like people know about this movie, and it's kind of like culturally relevant, and I feel like in terms of Sci-Fi Channel original movies, this is like one of their biggest hits, and this was almost a comeback for them. So, you know, a lot of the like the majority of the big sci-fi original movies, especially like the sci-fi original creature features, came out in the early to mid 2000s, and like I feel like in the late 2000s and early 2010s you didn't hear a lot about like Sci-Fi Channel original movies. But like this movie, I feel like this was a huge hit for Sci-Fi Channel, and totally like it was like a big comeback, totally like brought them back on the map. I was reading on the Wikipedia page that like initially this got less views than a typical Sci-Fi Channel original. So a typical Sci-Fi Channel original would debut with like 1.5 million views, but I believe this got around like 1.3 million. But then, you know, the powers that be at Sci-Fi, like the executives or whomever, they're like, you know what, let's show it again. Let's show it in these upcoming weeks, and they like kept showing the movie, and it was getting like more and more views, and I think it peaked at like 2.1 million views, which I believe was like the highest viewership of any sci-fi original movie. So this was a huge hit for Sci-Fi Channel. Maybe to this day, maybe this is their highest grossing original. I'm not entirely sure, but it spawned an entire franchise. There's I believe like 5 sequels. There's like 6 total movies in the Sharknado franchise, and there's I believe like 3 spin-off films. So I like Sci-Fi Channel original movies, especially Sci-Fi Channel like creature features. So it's nice that they were able to have such a big hit with this, you know, because I feel like Sci-Fi Channel, like, you know, even though people do hate on Sci-Fi Channel movies, and sometimes they are like so bad they're good, they have like a special place in my heart, and I like them. So, you know, I'm glad that they had like a comeback hit with this, and then also, so I feel like this was almost kind of a comeback for Tara Reid as well, because, you know, she was huge in like the late 90s and the early 2000s with, you know, like the American Pie films, stuff like Van Wilder, Around the Fire. Like seemed like she was popping up in everything, and she was like a big like up and coming star. And then I feel like you didn't hear about her for a while either. And then like this movie, like, okay, when actors who were bigger at one point start popping up in Sci-Fi Channel movies, people will be like, oh, they're washed up, they're doing, you know, TV movies, they're doing sci-fi movies, like they fell off, they're washed up. But I feel like this was a big comeback for Tara Reid, and okay, if they played this on repeat on the Sci-Fi Channel, like she probably made bank in residuals. So it's like you could be like saying like, ha ha ha, she's in this, you know, shitty CGI shark tornado movie, but like she's laughing to the bank with, like, they played this movie like crazy. Like this, like I bet all the actors and actresses made just like fat money off residuals. Like they probably made a killing. Plus I think they did like merchandising for this movie. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, all these people involved, like they get to act, that's their job. They're working. They probably, enjoy just being on set acting. They get to act. They're getting work, and you know, I feel like Tara Reid kind of embraced this because I've seen like on streaming other random shark movies that she's in, so she fully embraced it, which is cool. Like I kind of like when actors will embrace like shitty movies, or they're not afraid to star in shitty movies, because sometimes shitty movies make bank, and sometimes shitty movies are super entertaining. Even though I wasn't the biggest fan of this, just like in general, I like when actors and actresses aren't like too high and mighty to do, like a made for TV creature feature, because acting's like any job. Like, you got to consistently work. So it's like, I feel like actors and actresses who want to do it like forever, want to like have like a long lasting career, sometimes you got to do a bad movie, and sometimes maybe like a bad movie's your biggest hit. So I like the fact that this was a comeback for the Sci-Fi Channel, pretty much like a return to form, a big hit for the Sci-Fi Channel, a comeback for Tara Reid, and I like how she embraced it. And moving on to some points that are like more related to the actual film, the actual story, not necessarily the story, but the more related to the actual film. So earlier on in the review, I said, there was some fun to be had in the movie, but overall it was kind of boring. So, like I said, the concept I thought was absolutely fantastic, so over the top, kind of funny. It's a tornado filled with CGI sharks. They're raining down. They're biting people's limbs off. That's great. It was action packed. I loved, when they're flying in the helicopter, throwing bombs. I liked, all the main characters like chainsawing flying sharks that were coming down. There was just there was the action, like the good moments in this were fantastic. And I liked all the terrible CGI. That was like a big part of the so bad is good. Part of the so bad is good is just this over the top concept. Like, I feel like people have like a morbid curiosity to watch this movie. Like, oh, it's a tornado filled with sharks. Like, it's just a wacky concept that's completely out there. That kind of adds to the so bad it's good reputation of the movie, but also the fact that there's just an excessive amount of CGI. Like, there is so much CGI, and like the CGI sharks look absolutely terrible, but it's fun. Like, it is so bad it's good. Like, it's like the whole movie looks fake AF. All the sharks look fake. The tornadoes look fake. Most of the scenery looks fake. Like, even the way it's color graded, it's got this like, a lot of the movie has this gray tone. It looks, most of the movie looks like a video game. Like, but like a very unrealistic video game, and that adds to the fun. But with all that being said, with all that stuff that's really cool and that I really like about the movie, just the movie overall is just not a good movie. The characters were likable for the most part, but I don't know, they were kind of bland. The story didn't really keep my attention. There was a lot of moments that dragged. Like, I feel like there was like a lot of dull moments where they would just be like driving around in the car for so long. Like, and then, like I said, like the characters were likable, but they're kind of boring. So when it was like a slower part of the movie and it was just like more dialogue heavy, like I just didn't care because like they didn't build up the characters for me to really care about them. So I'm like, okay, when are sharks gonna come on screen? When am I gonna see, sharks exploding? You know, so even though there was a lot of fun to be had, the overall movie was kind of boring. And in terms of a recommendation, I think you should definitely like watch clips. If you could find movie clips for this on YouTube and watch all the best moments, I would say knock yourself out. Watch all the crazy moments of like Finn jumping in the shark with the chainsaw and like jumping in the air, chainsawing the shark, and he's like chainsawing the side of the shark open. Definitely look up stuff like that. But in terms of like sitting down and watching this for 90 minutes, I feel like the overall movie is not worth your time. I personally would say skip this and just watch, you know, various clips on YouTube because the clips are great. There's so many great moments, but I wouldn't recommend watching like the entire 90-minute movie because it for me personally it didn't really keep my attention, and there were a lot of pretty boring parts. So yeah, that was my recommendation, and that has been my review of Sharknado. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.